Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, K Marie, and I am starting a whole new series. It is my pregnancy series. I just wanted to document my progress week by week, and I really think that this will help a lot of people who are also pregnant, who have been trying to get pregnant, and it's been such a long journey for me. And yeah, I just want to share my experience with you guys, and hopefully I can help someone out along the way. So today I'm going to be talking about my pregnancy symptoms, how I found out that I was pregnant, and how I found out that I was pregnant so early on. So I am now 13 days past ovulation. I found out that I was pregnant on 9 days past ovulation, which is pretty early, but I've been charting for a while, and I'll talk about what that is in just a moment. I've been charting for a while now, and it's helped me figure out when I was ovulating, and really helped my time framing as far as finding out when the best time is to get pregnant and if I am in fact pregnant. So yeah, before we get started, I want to share the 2 apps that I have been using for charting. And charting, by the way, is taking note of all of your symptoms. I use these two, yeah, there's 2 apps. Sorry. Whew. I use these 2 apps to chart when I have my period, how long my period is, any type of symptoms associated with it, any type of symptoms on the daily basis, ovulation, basal body temperature, and I can put like ovulation test results in there. I use the ovulation test strips, and I use, of course, it comes with pregnancy tests as well. So these are the 2 apps that I use. I use an app called Ovia, which is right there, and I use Thermometer. I use Thermometer to track pictures of ovulation tests. I use Ovia for everything else, like documenting purposes. And then I recently started using Ovia Pregnancy since now I'm pregnant. So let's start with Ovia. Ovia, if you open it up, you will see my calendar. Let me just go back to February. So your calendar you can use to basically chart any type of symptoms that you might be having, a period, your mood, if you took an ovulation test, what those results were, your weight, blood pressure, whether or not you were intimate, nutrition, whatever you ate. There's so many things, and this app has really, and this is not sponsored by the way, this app has really helped me out a lot when it comes to just knowing when to expect my period. And I have been using this app since, I think since I was in college. So it's been a while since I've been using this app, and it's pretty accurate. I always keep it up to date, so it always, like, its algorithms are really like on point. So yeah, I use that. And then the other app that I use is Thermometer. This app allows me to chart my actual pictures of my ovulation test and my HCG test. Those were HCG tests that you just saw in that little segment. But yeah, so for any of my photos, I put that in here. So for ovulating, ovulation, to track that, I use this test called Thermometer. It corresponds with the app that I just showed you. It comes with, now there are different bundles that you can get. I got this off of Amazon. This one came with 50 ovulation test strips and 20 pregnancy test strips. So that was enough for me. And I pretty much could test every day. I don't test every single day, but I would test right after my period, because right after your period is usually when you go into your fertile window, and you'll get an LH surge. If you would like me to do a more detailed video on how ovulation tests work, just let me know down below in the comment section and I will do a dedicated video on that, because it can get a little bit complicated and it's different for every person depending on your cycle length and things of that nature. Again, just a disclaimer, I am not a medical professional at all. This is just what worked for me, and this is just the journey that I went through personally. So any specific questions, don't forget that while I might be able to provide some insight, it is only insight, my opinion, and a suggestion. It is not to be replaced by anything that your doctor may recommend. So I just wanted to put that out there. So I'm going to talk about how I found out that I was pregnant. So I ovulated on cycle day 16. And I only know that because I usually get a lot of cramping during my fertile window when I ovulate. So I started cramping, and my cramping never went away completely, so I just documented my cramping. My cramping went away after I ovulated, but then it started back up and it just kind of stayed. I was cramping a lot longer than I usually do. Usually with ovulation, I only cramp for that day and maybe a couple of hours. This time my cramping lasted a lot longer. It lasted for several days. It was not very intense at all, but it was enough for me to notice it. So a couple of days went by. Since I did have like 20 pregnancy tests that I had purchased, I did go ahead and start testing. So I took my first pregnancy test on March 4th. Today, by the way, is March 10th. March 4th was cycle day 23 for me. So cycle day 13 was 7 days past ovulation for me, and that's when my cramping started. Now, knowing that I am pregnant and it's been confirmed, that was probably my implantation cramping. So I tested negative on 7 days past ovulation. 7 days past ovulation is pretty early anyways to get a result. I did not test on 8 days. On 9 days past ovulation is when I got the faintest of the faintest lines, and I'll show you guys somewhere on the screen my pregnancy test. I almost could have passed that as a negative, but I saw the faintest line, and by this time I started to suspect that maybe I was pregnant, but I wasn't too sure yet because my period wasn't due for another 3 days. So I took the test just to take the test pretty much, but it did come back with a very faint line. The next day, which would be 10 days past ovulation, or cycle day 26 for me, I took another pregnancy test in the morning and I got a darker line. It wasn't super dark, but it was definitely there and definitely noticeable. And then I went ahead at that point because I was confident that I was pregnant. The line was definitely there. When I called my doctor, and they went ahead and submitted a request for HCG levels to be checked as well as progesterone. So I went and got that lab work done as well, and on the next day I actually got my results, and my HCG was at 25, which I have never had my HCG levels checked before, so I wasn't sure what was normal, what was abnormal. So 25 just kind of seemed a little bit low to me, but I do know that, well, I was assured by my doctor that my pregnancy was I caught my pregnancy very early on, so the levels were low probably because of that. But they wanted me to go again and get retested in 48 hours to make sure that my levels were doubling. So the next day, which would be 11 days past ovulation, I took another pregnancy test at home, and I got a even darker positive line. So at this point, I'm seeing the lines getting darker on my at-home pregnancy test. So it was really reassuring for me that everything was going smoothly. Then at at 12 days past ovulation, which was yesterday, I went and I had my levels checked again. And my levels jumped to 101. So again, my doctor contacted me. She said, great, those levels are definitely looking nice. And then I have one more today. 13 days past ovulation, so I will be going tomorrow to get my HCG tested again. And yeah, I definitely suspect that my levels will be even higher. I did take another pregnancy test just a few moments ago, and my test came back really dark. So here it is. So yeah, so my pregnancy line is just as dark as the control line. So I definitely expect my levels to have increased even more tomorrow when I go and get that lab work done. So overall, I haven't been having that many symptoms. That could change over the next couple of days or weeks, but for the most part, my symptoms have just been the cramping on and off, which is subsiding at this point. I don't have many cramps, but if I do, they're like here and there. Before I got my positive, I was having headaches more than usual. I thought it was just a sign of dehydration, but I was drinking a lot of water at the time too, so it just may have been one of the signs. Excuse me. A little TMI, but I've been like slightly constipated. Sorry. Sorry, but I've been like slightly constipated, which is the opposite of what I remember going through in my previous pregnancies. In my previous pregnancies, I remember having I was not constipated, so it was the opposite of constipation. So that was different. And now I've been, between the last 48 hours, I've been experiencing like a tad bit of nausea. It's not too bad. I'm not like throwing up or anything like that, but I have become sensitive to different smells, and the mornings are a little bit tougher because I feel a little nauseous. But other than that, I feel great. I feel pretty normal. I don't even feel pregnant at this point. Again, I'm only 13 days past ovulation, and I'm pretty early in my pregnancy, so I'm not surprised that I don't feel a whole slew of symptoms. So yeah, I will continue to keep you guys updated on my progress. I am technically, well, I'm technically 13 days past ovulation, but according to how they chart how many weeks you are, I'm 4 weeks stemming back from the first day of my last period. So it makes me 4 weeks as of today. So I guess I will stick with that type of schedule with my updates. So I will come back next week and share week 5 with you guys. So every Tuesday I should be turning another week. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.